Hello, everyone. I'm Hansi, and welcome to the Female Factor, where we explore how women work in a range of different careers. We discuss how they navigate their careers, who they look up to, and any lessons they would like to share. As they say, it takes a village to raise a child. Similarly, it takes a lot of influences to make a woman CEO. I wanted to understand these influences at three levels: the immediate family, so parents when growing up, and spouses, especially during child rearing years, role models and mentors and coaches, basically other women and men who guide us, and lastly, sponsors, champions, and cheerleaders. Let's start with the most influential people who shape who we become: our family. Using survey data from CFA Institute members, a survey found that parental careers differentially affect the future choices of girls and boys. Women are more likely to have a STEM parent, particularly a STEM mother, rather than men. These findings are consistent with the hypothesis that early role models, particularly female role models, influence women's choice of a finance career. So it starts with our career choice. But I was interested in how the family was supportive of our guests in their finance careers.
Very fortunate to have my husband who is my lifelong cheerleader, and every turn of my career, every decision I've made, he's been 100% behind me. And so I'm very grateful to him. I also have a very close knitted family. My parents were always there to chip in and to help. But again, my father has always told me that, a decision doesn't have to be lifelong. If you make that decision now, you do it. Focus on it, be good at it, and then make your next decision when you're ready. So I've learned that, in your career, you can take different turns as long as you, but as long as you believe in what you do and you are focused in doing it. Um, and be proud of every decision you've made. Okay, make the best out of it. Sometimes in life you have crisis that hits you from nowhere. I know it's very hard initially, but think about it as an opportunity to learn of how to build resilience. And once you've been over it, you look back and be proud of yourself. And that to me is a really important lesson. I had two babies, very young. And again, I was thinking to myself, what is the most important thing to me? Now, unlike women now, that you have the technology to do it both ways, and to do it really well and to balance time. At that time, it was very, very difficult. And so I wanted to fully pay attention to bringing up my children. And so I actually decided to sell my shares in the company, and I stayed home. But um, an advice to anybody who wants to do that is don't leave the industry completely. So I stayed on as non-executive director of the company for that period. So over the 7 years that followed, I was still engaged, although of course I wasn't doing full-time work.
So I never thought about it too hard because both my mother and my mother-in-law are professionals. So in that sense, it was never, a reason not to think about working and having a family. So being a typical Malay Muslim woman in Malaysia, you get married, you have children quite immediately, and that's what I did. And I think I'm very fortunate to be born in this part of the world where help is affordable, and I say this time and time again that my career would not have happened if it wasn't for the nanny that was helping me with the children. And and I know a lot of women grapple, find it very difficult with that, leaving childcare to someone else. But, to me, it was a choice I made. I don't think my children, have grown up weird or anything like that by being raised by someone else. There were opportunities. It's not that I forgoed it because of the husband. If anything, it was just, weighing the entire opportunity, uprooting the kids and all that. It wasn't enough of an incentive to do that. I have a very, very supportive husband. He knows I'm extremely ambitious. The poor man now has even more worries now that I started my business because I'm never at home. And so I can't complain really. Yes, I would definitely say that you need a good support system. You need to choose your partner very well. Yeah. I think with any relationship, you've got to have that give and take at any particular moment.
Like that's something I always talk about them. And like the things have been changing. When we were a little bit younger, we want to the important thing to be together physically. So we have enough time to spend up until now. So he is very supportive if I get the opportunity, for example, away from Tokyo, and I am happy if he has the opportunity away from Tokyo. I had my children in US, so at the time, it's not easy to balance everything. So I have to raise my kids, and also I have to do housework and then office work. So what I did is I had a part-time helper at the time, and then what I did is delegation and clear R&R. So I applied what I learned from my work to my personal life. So I delegate more to helper and my children.
I think whatever it is, no matter how strong or liberal I am, I always, try and, you know, show the fact that I've never lost respect for him as a man. And I think that's very, very crucial, right? So I'm not to say that, hey, I want everything equal to the point that there's disrespect. And I think that's very, very crucial in any relationship, right? Yeah.
I adjust my job um doing a career based on my family situation. So I don't know if it's helpful, but I also really set up a very really good family system. There's family helpers. Even in New York, I have uh, a helper to help me because I didn't, there are different ways, but I make sure that I have a sum set up between my whole broader families to make sure that they can be supported. So I think I have a whole village behind me when I'm choosing the different job. But I also say I'm quite conscious in choosing job to actually be able to fit my family because I think for a woman, only successful for career, having a not so happy family is actually a lot of stress. So I try to reduce the stress.
Apart from the family, we look to the outside world, perhaps a role model who came before us or is a peer in another industry who inspires us. Something about them that we admire, that we want to emulate. Then there are mentors that we cultivate, who act as sounding boards, especially when we make crucial decisions. We can also hire coaches who can train us on the more day to day behaviors. They teach to spot our blind spots and correct our self destructive behaviors. I always try to have somebody I can talk with, not only one, because there's two reasons. One is to hear many opinions in the different aspects. Important. Also not necessarily this one person knows it. So to have several a mentor, it does not necessarily mean my senior. It can be my junior, younger people. Can be a good teacher.
yeah, I always like I try to have that mentor.
I was looking for kind of role models, and when I looked at senior executives, there was no female executive at the time. However, Citibank and G Capital, they have many strong female leaders in the organization. So I decided to join a global company. So two cases. One role model is I didn't have any relationship, but when I read newspaper articles, I was really um, um, inspired. And the other role model is uh, our company's ex-CEO and president. She's Canadian but leading U.S. company. So I had a relationship with her, and then I learned a lot from her. So even U.S., I mean, the female CEO and president, that's not common. So there are different ways to manage the company and lead the company. So I think there should be different types of leadership in the company. And then female leaders, I think they have their own strengths. So that should be recognized as a strength.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I have been very fortunate that I've had some really good mentors, and it is very important, whatever company you are in or whatever stage of your career you're in, having the right mentor. And having the right mentor doesn't always mean you go find the most senior person and go, "Hey, will you be my mentor?" No, you look for people who have certain traits that are attractive, that you aspire to. And a really good mentor-mentee relationship has to work both ways. So you can't really have a mentor and then expect them to draft your career path for you. You need to go in there with, this is what I want to do, or this is where I want to go to. They can help you with some of it in terms of drafting some goals and how you can get there, but you need to really have a good think about what you want to do, what interests you, what you don't want to do, and take all of that into consideration, right? At the end of the day, I strongly believe that you are responsible for your own career, and you will come across obstacles, and you'll come across amazing people who will pull you up. You'll also come across people that will pull you down, but ultimately it's yourself. If you want it, you've got to throw everything you've got at it, and you can't let the obstacles get you down. Look, we've all had obstacles, but it's getting through it and finding the right mentor. And look, sometimes that mentor-mentee relationship doesn't work out. That's fine. You seek out someone else.
Lastly, let's understand the concept of champions and cheerleaders. These are people who bat for you, that is, advocate for you when you are not in the room. These could be men or women.
I didn't realize that I need a champion or a sponsor until a few years ago. I thought that if I do my job well, then I will be recognized. But I now learned that it is important to have your sponsor who can support you when you are not in the room so that your work can be recognized. So I'm trying to have my sponsor nowadays. So that's something I missed when I was young.
Our choice of career is influenced by our parents, spouses, and children. We can navigate this career better by seeking out role models and mentors. We can train better with coaches. We also need to cultivate sponsors, champions, and cheerleaders who can influence our career from behind the scenes. It does take a village, as I say. What do our guests recommend that workplaces can do better, and what can the next generation of women do better? That is in the next episode of The Female Factor. I'm Hansi. See you then.